Are we live? Yes, I am. People, Deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in each and every time, folks. I hope you're all doing well and safe. Good afternoon to those of you who are tuned in from the UK. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, and of course, good night, depending on who you are and however you're viewing this. People, don't forget to hit the like button. As you know, it's Arsenal versus Everton. I know there's been plenty of off-field matters to talk about this week in relation to Arsenal, the club we love. But we are playing a game of football. I will be doing a watch-along. Match reaction after that watch-along, but I'll be live from 7. So make sure you take that one in. Even if you're not going to be there, please hit the like button on not only this video, but that video. Do what you can to, get the wheel moving in terms of the YouTube algorithm so DG Nation can keep expanding and all of those sort of things, man. I hope you're doing well and safe. S, I hope you're good. I appreciate you locked in wherever you're from. RIP Claude each and every time. And again, iconic, it's time to go. That's all that needs to be said. The better it is, well, it is, man. Hope you're well as well. See, man, I hope you're doing well and safe. I hope you're all in good spirits, that guys of you that are tuned in now. As you lot know, yesterday it was the fan forum, and first things first, big up to all those Arsenal fans who spoke in that to Stan Kroenke. Of course, there's not too much they can do, but I think they did all I say Stan, I mean Josh. I think they made it uncomfortable for him. I think they captured how many Arsenal fans spoke. I think they spoke eloquently. I thought, we can't just rant at the man. We need to put things across. I think they did everything we needed Arsenal fans to do. I think they did as much as they could. So, me, I'm a footballing man. I don't really know about the, Arsenal supporter groups and all of these things. But to those individuals that were in the room and were able, or whoever they are, big up to each and every one of them people, especially as Akil. Forgive me for any mispronunciations. He asked a very good question. Well, I believe he did anyways, in relation to putting pressure on them and saying he thinks they should leave. That one in particular was my one. So big up to him. And like I said, to big up to everybody. I know that we'll get on. Please remind me after I get over this. I will give you my opinions on the PARLOUR ROBBIE business. I'm not going to go into depth and whatnot. We've been down that already. I see a couple of you comment that. I promise I'll get into it because, it's a bit of an elephant in the room. But like I said, people, please make sure you're hitting the like button. Better yet, yesterday I wasn't in the room. I didn't have access, so I don't know what was being said really and truly. I'm just going off what people said. It's very difficult, not for the fans, but for me to capture really how Josh felt. Like, look a man in his eyes and see what he really is about. Not that you can, and capture the way he's trying to deliver stuff. I do think he cares a bit more than his dad. I do think to a degree he would want to see Arsenal do well. I do think he cares a tiny bit more than his dad. But unfortunately for me, doesn't care enough. Sadly, your last name goes against you, and all of you need to keep it moving. And, like your dad and like everybody else connected, there's been a lot of verbal checks written. Physically, we've been unable to cash them at this football club, people. So, courtesy of Football London, apparently Arsenal committed to within a 24-hour turnaround of these meeting minutes. I haven't seen it on Arsenal.com. And with respect to Arsenal, even if I did see it, they're not going to say everything that was said. It's going to be a sort of PR sort of job and things like that. So yeah, it's more or less how I'm more or less seeing a lot of these things for the first time. It's a chunky read, people. So yeah, we're 3 minutes in. Big up the 42 of you that are locked in. We're here for a minute, people. Still, now, as like I said, I want to skip past this bit. Really and truly, and just get into the fans putting pressure on Josh, because we know if I go further up, Vinai is talking as well. With respect to Vinai, we know what they're going to say, what they already said, apologetic, come across as naively wanting Arsenal to excel and going about it the wrong way, which to a degree that might be true, which again concerns me. Or I think it was sinister. These football clubs and these individuals, they're some of the most highly educated, experienced and money men there is. They don't do things on emotion. One thing that might go against fans, if we probably would do everything on emotion, they do very little things on emotion. In a footballing sense, that's annoying. In a business sense, that's scary. That's standard, sorry. And it scares me that that's the approach with the football club. Because again, this never came about. You heard that Perez say they've been talking about this for years. You heard Arteta indirectly say, he found out about the rumblings months ago and then it was thrown at his feet. So it's an educated risk. You knew there would be backlash. Again, a lot of you, Stan Kroenke is from America. I don't know how the American thing is set up, but I can imagine there must have been opposition to a lot of decisions he's made, and likewise with the Glazers and the rest of them respectively. So you knew it. You knew the you have people that do PR. You have people that actually can, you pay to consult about how to transpire this to the fans. You didn't care. and the sheer arrogance to drop it at a day and on top of the obvious, because Arsenal haven't been excelling, on top of for all of these clubs in a day and age where football fans are losing a lot of money, losing jobs and stuff, to come out with it, the timing was terrible as well. So I see that from all of these top six clubs, I keep saying top six clubs, you know, as sheer arrogance, people. It's as simple as that. But in relation to Josh Kroenke, like I said, people, you know, do what you need to do. We're going to be here for a minute. Please do what you know, get your opinions in, smash the like button, big up my guy, Sandro. But I'm going to go in with this one for a sec, people. Now, I need to zoom in. I probably need to get some glasses, but it is what it is. What has Matt said? Big up yourself, Matt. Oh, and me trying to multitask means I'm corralling this a bit more for you guys. But, you know, better late than never, Matt, man. You finally got there, man. You couldn't have picked a better day. So love for that. I've tried to make things easier for you guys and I've messed it up. So you lot are just going to have to rely on my verbal. As you lot can see, JK, which I assume stands for Josh Kroenke, it says, I'm here today to talk, and Vinai echoed many of the sentiments to the world. Leadership, from my perspective, if any of you lead different organizations in your own life, making unpopular decisions that you feel benefit larger groups over time is part of leadership. That's 100%. But have we made it, you know, like you said, larger groups? Arsenal's fans didn't stand to benefit from this, because now we've seen our club even more than obvious drag through the dirt. The players have been thrown into this, you know, the manager wasn't briefed, you know, it only stood to benefit you lot. Again, we didn't earn this right. I get it. You don't want to miss out. Again, business standard. If you see your business partners doing something, you don't want to miss out. But there's the way to do things. And we tried to take shortcuts. The same way we've been taking shortcuts off the field, on the field, we tried to take it with this, and it didn't bang. Lord knows if football fans actually wanted this to happen, or the backlash wasn't there, people, you know, they would have, God knows what they would have done. But I get it, you know, that what he said in isolation away to Arsenal Football Club, you do need to make unpopular decisions, but fundamentally, they, popular or unpopular, they need to be the right decisions. This, lo and behold, I'll leave you lot in the viewers, you know, to get there. Leadership is also recognizing when you are wrong. Also true. Quickly correcting your course of action, apologizing for your actions, and then educating yourself on how to lead better in the future. Again, can't disagree with anything so far in that. That's what I'm here to do today. I'm here to explain and listen. You're here to be the fool guy. You're here to literally take the punches and report back to your dad and say what's happened, because he hasn't said something. He didn't even have the common decency to ask the PR people who writ the apology to at least attach Stan Kroenke. Whether I agree with John Henry or not, and I don't really care for none of them, at least he tried to do a little video thing. It was a disaster, but at least he tried to do that. You didn't. You know, you've hidden behind Vinai. You've hidden behind your son, because they're the ones taking the bullets. You know, as much as I'm fond of the Arsenal fans getting at him and things like that, you know, they're the ones taking the bullets. It's not the man that we need to hear. The man that made a commitment to speaking to these fans when he took over this club. You know, we stopped being a football club a long time ago. We really sold ourselves up the river when he became, you know, got everything in 2018. So again, the man who makes the decisions, ultimately, the man with the trousers, Stan Kroenke, nowhere to be seen. And, you know, these messages can't be delivered properly. You know, no matter how much his son reports to him, his dad's not there. He can't capture the emotions of Arsenal fans. He doesn't know, and he doesn't really care, does he? But like he said, I'm here to explain and listen. As this project took shape, in a very, very fast manner, we asked ourselves two key questions. The question we asked ourselves is, what is worse, a Super League or a Super League without Arsenal? Now, obviously, Arsenal fans in general, away from the obvious, we'd want to be part of a Super League. Who would want their club to miss out? But we didn't deserve it. And again, you lot knew there would be a backlash. You opposed it. You lot had the sheer arrogance that thought you could do what you did over stateside. You could do it here and mash up the thing when there's a way to do it. I actually don't feel in principle the idea is a bad thing. But the way you've gone about it, the actual thing you was trying to implement, it's all been terrible. And Arsenal have hidden. You know, we've not owned up to anything. We've kind of apologized through the back door like an embarrassed child. You know, when your mum beats you and when you're younger and you wake up from that arse kicking and you go downstairs for dinner and you're embarrassed to be about and show your face. That's exactly the sort of apology and whatnot we're doing right now, in my humble opinion, because we've not owned up to it. We've sat here and said, oh, we weren't the ones who made it up, this and that. So what's worse? Surely that's a follower, because at least I wouldn't admire it, but at least if you owned your decisions, like Barcelona, I don't agree with it and I don't echo it, but at least they're owning what they're doing. We're trying to do this half-arts thing, which for me, I see a snake. I see that as snaky. A snake is scarier than a rat, as you lot know, people. which what we're doing, people. So yeah, when you put it like this, and the emotive sort of spin you putting it in that, yeah, we want Arsenal to be at the forefront. Yeah, man, I can see it. But reality, no. That was a very tough one for us to weigh. You had months to weigh, and you knew, you know, and all you need to do is go to the Emirates. You knew the Super League and Arsenal shouldn't be in the same sentence. So you could imagine the backlash. But basically, the decision we made was a Super League without Arsenal was the worst of those answers. That's what we acted upon. The second question was, what do the fans want? Stability. We tried to answer that question in as many possible ways, but you've been answering that for years, and you're coming to the wrong questions. You're coming to the wrong conclusions, really and truly. So I don't know who is you lot's tutor, but you're failing. We are obviously bound by certain confidentiality aspects of the decision we were thinking about making. It was much more of a complicated answer than we had time to contemplate. Once again, that scares me because you lot are businessmen, you know. If you're pressured into a decision, if you make a hasty decision, it's 9 times out of 10 the wrong one, which again, I'm no billionaire, but I know that. I think the global fan wants to see Arsenal versus Barca. Yeah, that's true, as much as possible. I think the European fan wants to see big matches between top clubs because their domestic league is so predictable. They definitely can't say as an Arsenal fan that is the case, but fair play. I think from an English fan's perspective, this is what was so educating to me over the last 24 to 48 hours, going back 36 hours now. Sorry, this has been kind of a blur of a week. I haven't slept much, bro. We haven't slept much. We haven't slept much in the last couple of years, regardless. And for me, yeah, I like that you've educated yourself after the last 36 hours. But the minute you talked about being excited and we really started to see Josh Kroenke, not just Stan Kroenke, you should have been educating yourself. The best way to educate that is to go home and away with the team. You know, one thing I'll give Edu, you know, that's one thing he was vocal on. He's like, I like to travel with the team. Whether I can criticize Edu or not, he was on that to capture the emotion. If you can't put 2 and 2 together, surround yourself with people who can, which you've tried to do, but they're people who can do what you want and not the best from a footballing point of view. He said, for an English fan, they want to see more big matches, but as one Chelsea supporter wrote on a sign I saw online the other day, you still want your cold nights in Stoke, which again, you will get these tough games, giant killing perspective games, but we all want to excel, whether that's domestically or in Europe, the right way. To me, that sent a strong message to the EPL, football in the UK as a whole, and fan sentiment in England. We got it wrong, and that's why we're here today apologizing and to discuss it with you. The man who signed off, you know, isn't though, people. That doesn't mean a lot of our concerns and frustrations weren't addressed or we don't still have those concerns. None of our intentions as part of this project were to harm the Premier League or English football in any way. Lol. Really, most of our frustration relies in larger conversations about European football as a whole. Now, one thing I'll give the club, there is problems with UEFA. Shout to Gundogan for criticizing it. And there is problems with TV rights, FFP, and all of these things. That's why I think there needs to be a middle ground. This ain't a victory for football, you know. Because if it doesn't happen this way, it happened with something else. There will be a straw that breaks the camel's back if UEFA are still allowed to do what they're doing, people. So it's not a win. So when I hear Sky Caval and Gary Nev as well, but Gary Lineker saying it's a win, it's not a win. Might be a win for you lot at BBC and Sky Sports because you ain't fighting with no one for TV rights coverage and ultimately interest and ultimately packages, which ultimately means money. So I don't know what people are going on, people. Is what it is. I only want to see Arsenal versus Barcelona with a legit referee. We all remember when Van Persie was sent off. Personally, banter aside, though, people. No disagreement with that, people. He said we can talk about FFP enforcement. That's something Arsenal thought would save us and something that didn't, which again, we're legitimate in that. We can talk about what we are doing at European level to combat racism, which again, very big facts. You see how quickly you're away for, and actually fans, everyone in football chatting about this. Where's that energy for racism? Where's the protests and all of this for racism? And people will say, oh, you can't do that over racism and whatnot. We can sit here and say, why not? Why not? Why is this more important than a human being? And I'd have to say, what is Arsenal doing? Yeah, we might be doing the media blackouts, but what are we doing? What are we doing in our own way to combat that? Are we pushing out the boat? You know, I don't see every club condemns it. I don't see a single club demanding real answers from UEFA and those that are in charge in terms of fixing racism. So you have legs to stand on, but before you point the fingers at other people, which I'm not saying isn't legitimate, we need to look at ourselves, and that goes for life as well. And that's something I've said to you lot numerous times. But going on, he said, but for the stability of the football pyramid and talking about grassroots programs, that we are all for, which, you know, we wouldn't have Bukayo Saka for things like that. We want to make sure we're maximizing those revenues and those opportunities to stabilize the footballing pyramid. And again, we'll get stability by fixing up our squad and getting the riches and glory that comes with that. Again, stability, it turned for me, that I changed that to monopolize, you know, get mafia it up and whatnot. But he said, did we go about it in the incorrect manner this time? Absolutely. Very emotional language there from him, you know, because some people, let's be real, maybe this is why we ain't billionaires. We've got a heart on us, like these lot. Some people might sit there and say, you know what, he's paying for the sins of his dad, he gets it and whatnot. And when he says emotional language like that, it can kind of turn you on side. It's like even certain people that when this was initially made, certain people were rationalizing this with maybe being in Europe all the time and the money that comes, we might see the purse strings open up by Kroenke. No, remember at all times, people, these guys have what you don't have. You know, you have what they don't have, and that's an emotional compass. They don't have that. They just know coin. I'm sure he's a great family guy, great family man, good person, and all these things, and I'm sure they all are. But we don't see that as fans. It's as simple as that. I can only comment on what I see. I comment on my football club, and one consistency has been our steady decline and our slowly, well, you know, we're heading nowhere fast, in my opinion, you know, straight to oblivion if this doesn't change. But it was as he went on to say, people, absolutely. But I still think those issues reside. I can use from a personal example, the match in Baku, which he shouldn't have been in there anyways. But I met some amazing people. I enjoyed my trip very much. Aside from the 90 minutes of the match, it was a beautiful city and I had a great trip. But from a travel logistics to ticket allocation to the general environment of the stadium, I wondered if you're having a European final between two London giants, if it was truly being maximized to its potential for the greater benefit of the football pyramid as a whole. So again, the clubs are not really benefiting. UEFA were, because they were giving tickets to their sponsors and they were selling it to the highest bidders and whatnot. So again, that just means they're eating, we're not eating as much as we could. We want seconds. We haven't really got to this, and there are certain things about politics in Europe, like myself in America, will never understand. We couldn't even bring one of our starting 11s to the most important matches of the season that year, which was incredibly frustrating from a club perspective. And again, good emotional language. He's dropped specific examples most Arsenal fans can remember vividly, giving the impression he actually gives a F. Which, yeah, it is true. You know, we did need our strongest team. It was a thing. You know, we could have done a bit better. You know, it is what it is. We know it is. And he said, and we all know Mkhitaryan, forgive me if I'm wrong, did he not miss out? I can't remember. It's been so long. And the trauma Arsenal has put me through, my memory in terms of long-term Arsenal is a bit mad. But he said, from a transparency of governance, you know, there's some big words there. I didn't even think I could say that, people. But here we go. We feel those issues still reside and we want to continue to work on those. We understand there are emotions involved. We want to hear those emotions, which will give many fans the opinion that they care. They want to listen. I want to understand those emotions, and that's why I'm here today, to listen from myself, my father, and KSE. We apologize for that angst that we caused everyone and situation that we put ourselves in. I apologize, and I'm here to listen to you guys, and that's great. But it might hold a bit more weight if it comes from your father. Please make sure you're hitting the like button, people. 18 minutes in, 151 of you. I see the engagement, but now we can get into the fans. Now, again, I don't know who AV is. I mean, no disrespect, but as I said at the start of this, every Arsenal fan that was in that room and did get to ask questions, I did think they did all they could to make it uncomfortable, to capture the emotions, to, you know, not just say what they would like to have and things like that. I think they all did very well. So AV has said, I can assure you, Josh, it's not just you that hasn't slept. Amen, brother. A lot of us haven't slept for about 5 days trying to do our day job around trying to fight these facts. You asked yourself 2 questions. Is it worse to have an ESL with Arsenal in or not? And what do fans want? That's an interesting question to me, because I don't think I've been asked. I don't think anyone else here has been asked. You talk about leadership, about making decisions for the club. Leadership is also listening to your customers, which, again, 100% facts. And AV has played a blinder there and forced Josh, you know, he's done a high press and he's forced Josh into an own goal. Because what did he say? Leadership is about owning your mistakes, and he kind of indirectly spoke about listening, but he hasn't actually asked that question. You know, half the time when you do these it was over Zoom, you know, you don't see Stan Kroenke, and fans aren't allowed to ask these questions, or you're rubbed out and you never get to ask again. Sometimes it's just a special sort of fan that's allowed in this. So again, AV and these guys, they'll probably try to rub him out again, people, you know, but big him up. Like he said, he's playing a blinder here. You know, he's talking about leadership. We're not really seeing it. He said, I'm going to use that terminology because that's what I feel I am to you, a customer. You never once listened to us. And remember, Steve Jobs once famously said, not to push the American propaganda, customers don't know what they want. And I do agree with that to a degree, because I'm sure when the car was being designed, people probably said, we just want faster horses. But there has to be a middle ground, and Arsenal are not listen to at all, you know, because I don't think Arsenal fans are asking to be Manchester City or PSG. Lord knows we have no opportunity. But we just like the squad to be decent. Like he said, your day job, whether you're a plumber, a nanny, you know, trapping, whatever you're doing in your daily life, yeah, you just want to know whatever you've done, you know, whenever you've paid your bills or whatever, and you've bought your match ticket or you've signed up to your subscription and Arsenal's coming on that weekend, you just want to know that there's a team that reflects you, that gives you joy, that captures everything, because we all work very hard for our money to go to the Emirates or invest in the club in the many different ways. They forget that many different people in the UK and everywhere else, we all live many diverse lives. We've all got different things that we need to deal with, but our football club and fans will bend over backwards, to make sure they're able to incorporate Arsenal into their lives. Certain people will do a lot. You don't know, because you ain't listened. Like he said, if you listened, you would have got this. You know, that's the very first thing you and your father would have got when you came to the UK in terms of owning this football club. You know, like I said, you'll quickly learn that if you I'd actually say standing in the Emirates, because the atmosphere is quite atrocious. But I'd say going Arsenal away, just living, breathing, and being with Arsenal historically, people. You know, like he said, I've got 3 questions, but my first question is about the actual Super League. Do you believe that tournament without sporting merit are actually a good thing? Let's see. I believe in sporting merit. Yes, so he hasn't answered the question, but he hasn't not answered it. He said, so why did you sign up to the Super League that potentially wasn't about sporting merit and kills domestic games? I go back to my original answer, the first question that we asked ourselves, was a Super League or we asked ourselves, was a Super League or a Super League without Arsenal? So again, not really answering the questions. This is why his dad has sent him here. He's specialist at this, people. It's a bit like Marco Polo, a series I've just started watching, when the Khan sends his son, who isn't quite as rough as him, but he's very diplomatic about. This is the vibes I'm getting. Anyways, people, please make sure you're hitting that like button and you're here for the watch along later. 7 p.m. Information in the pin tweet. Shameless plug. Deluded podcast also dropped if you're on Spotify and the rest of it. Shameless plug. But staying on task, people. Are Arsenal still contracted to the Super League? Are Arsenal still contracted to the Super League? Arsenal would have incurred costs here. Will KSE be paying for them and not Arsenal Football Club? Absolutely. Probably somehow getting that money back in years to come from the club. And the second part of your question, I would actually refer to Vinai for where we are in the legal process, because it's a complicated answer. Well, again, ownership. Are you going to pay or not? We know we don't need to know the I's and the T's and the intricate parts of the contract. We just know that we heard it took about 8 million to do this nonsense, and that racked up costs. We just want to know, is KSE paying for that or not? You know, again, if you was listening to your fans, if you truly captured the emotions, I'd hardly go as far as to say that's a gesture, and I'd hardly go as far as to say that's the least you can do, but you can do that in it. And again, his dad has sent him here because he answers questions but doesn't answer questions. VV, you know, Vinai, on the contract situation, I need to be careful with what I say because of the legal stuff. Effectively, we are leaving. We're just working through the process of what that means contractually. We are just working through the legal formalities of what that means. And again, we're assuming they're leaving, but that could just mean restructure. Okay, it might not be Super League, but we might wrap it up into something else. I do think if UEFA don't get their act together, then I won't say Super League, but I just see the Super League as, yeah, it was for money and stuff, but fundamentally revolt, you know, revolting against something. Now, we all know UEFA, Arsenal executives, United, Liverpool, they're all the same. All their kids go to school together, and regardless of what they're telling us in the public, they're all part of the same circle. So it's 2 birds of the same feather sort of thing. 2 wings of the same bird, or whatever they're saying is, people, if you get it. But he hasn't answered, you know, Vinai is giving us anything close to an answer so far. AV, big up yourself, as once again said, if you're really sorry, will you actually bother to engage with fans more? Aye, this high press is amazing from AV first and foremost. He's definitely up front. Considering that one of your key questions and you've never done it, are you actually going to commit to engaging with fans more? And would you ever consider reps at boardroom level? This club needs fans at boardroom level to represent. You've got this wrong this week. It was a disgrace. The way you did it, it was cowardly. You launched it and did not even justify it. I don't think you still have to justify it personally. It's clear that you don't know enough about our game. You don't know enough about our club. Our club is built on traditions, on values and class. We've talked about that a lot. Facts. And he said, JK has replied, if you're expecting to see me more, absolutely. Let's start on this call right now. From a board perspective, we as a club came together and made the decision as a board. Again, Vinai can say his reasons for and against, Ed do the same, anyone else who's on the board, but you and your dad, more so your dad, that's the bottom line. If he says he don't want it, you could tell him Super League is the best thing in the world. If you don't want it, it's not going to happen. Do you get? And, there might even be members on that Arsenal board who are against it, but they've been crippled. That's why, to a degree, as much as I'm on to Josh and Vinai and people like that, they're just pawns in this thing. They're just chess pieces. They're just doing the bidding. Like I said, if Kroenke, if it landed on his desk and he said, the backlash and the English values, Arsenal are not on it, leave it. But Vinai could have sat there and said, nah, but we can make this. He said, no, allow it. You see, people, you always have a decision. So yeah, man. He said we made it together. He said that's why we put out the statement as we did, apologizing immediately. And if you're hoping to interact with me on a more meaningful basis going forward, you have my word. That's absolutely the case. The fact is, words don't mean anything. Verbal is a cheap currency. Everyone's got it. Man, I have to see actions. We've been hearing verbal about this club since we moved to the Emirates. There's been a lot of verbal. I'd rather people just shut up, justify it, not justify it, just accept what they're doing and move forward, people. Apparently in 2019, he said, you should be at JC. Big up yourself, JC, this time now. In 2019, you said that we should be excited. What should we be excited about? The Super League? No. Can you elaborate on the comments then? Be excited for the future of Arsenal Football Club. At the minute, I feel ashamed to be part of Arsenal Football Club because of what's going on. JK said, I understand that sentiment. Again, JC, sorry, once again said, does KSE have long-term investment plans for Arsenal apart from the Super League? Absolutely. Whether that means good for us fans, I don't know. ZW has said, I'm ashamed to be an Arsenal fan. I couldn't sleep because I was so upset that the club I care so much about would do something like this. When will your father speak to us or Arsenal fans? He's the majority shareholder. He runs the club. Why has he never spoken to an Arsenal fan? Secondly, I can guarantee you that Arsenal will never play their home matches away from Islington. And thirdly, why should we believe a single word that you've told us today? I can hear from the tone of your voice that you're not really interested in being here, or that's certainly the impression you're giving. When can we expect to speak to you or your father next? Again, like I said, again, so far we're out the blocks. Big up all the fans, them that are in there. Again, asking for specifics without actually reading the answer. Here goes, people. Let's go and see what can be said here. I don't think he's going to answer it. I would say that if you're hearing from me, you're hearing from my father. So again, if there's a gun and they're about to shoot, he stepped in front of it. And again, like Vinai, he's taking the bullets. And he said, you're hearing from my father. I've always said for years now, when I speak or he speaks, you're usually hearing from both of us. So again, you've set yourself up then, because now anything Stan Kroenke has said, I'm on to you about now. I might not be my father, but that's why I'm here today. As far as the tone of my voice, I'm doing my best to try and convey the feelings that are in my heart. You don't have those feelings, so it's hard to feel sorry for something that you don't have thingy for. It's a poor example, but if somebody dies that I don't necessarily know, of course I can have condolences. Of course I can feel some sort of empathy, but to a degree I didn't really know them, so I can't really feel it sort of thing as much as if somebody did. The same goes here, people. Because every Arsenal fan in this live chat, might definitely me here and everybody else, we all feel it, but you don't feel it. You don't feel it. To love your football club, you can't put it into words, and you can't buy that feeling. Your football club finds you. Yeah, you might have fathers that were Arsenal fans or friend influences, but the club finds you. Every football club finds you, and you lot didn't. You lot looked for coin. You didn't look for belonging. And that's what kills me, because I've been in points of my life where Arsenal was the only thing that was positive, and definitely being at the Emirates was the only time I felt kind of well sane. So to know you lot don't really care, and this is a game for you, like it jars me, people. But moving forward, that's why I'm trying to rebuild some sort of relationship with the supporters, starting with yourselves. Yeah, right. Can you guarantee we'll never play home matches away from London while you and KSE own Arsenal? I can guarantee that. Do you still consider yourselves fit? M has come in and said, do you still consider yourselves fit and proper owners and custodians of our club? Are KSE fully aware that the vast majority of the fan base believe you're not fit to be the owners of our club? Do you believe that this damage is repairable, or will KSE be looking to sell their shares in Arsenal? I still believe we're fit to carry on in our positions as custodians of Arsenal. So fundamentally, that's it there, people. Not selling the club, are they? We were put in a very difficult position by forces outside our club. To go back to those original questions, that we got wrong. Those were questions we asked ourselves, and that's why I'm here to try and piece everything back together over time. I'm not asking for your trust immediately. We have the same plans for the summer as we've had a few weeks ago, and I'm so excited about those. I might be met with distrust and skepticism, but over time, I hope to re-establish a relationship with our supporters groups and show them we're capable of leading the club forward. Action. For me, you need a centre half. For me, you need a midfielder. You need creativity with it. I want to see action. I don't want to see a summer where we're still Partey is here, he's not here. We get him and there's euphoria, but we're asking where's the rest. It's like buying Partey when you did. It's like waiting forever to buy a PS5. Waiting forever. It comes and you ain't got no wires to go in the back of it, or you ain't got a pad. You get it. It's dead. It might as well be useless. But he's over. I do think, like I said, the fans have did all they could to make it awkward for this guy, people, and really try and get it across. Will it fall on deaf ears? In my opinion, it will, to a slight degree. He said, you keep saying that we hear you fans. You didn't speak to us in the first place about this. We will be lobbying government to get fan representation at boardroom level. What is your view on that? Who has made this ridiculous decision? Was it you, your father, or Lord Harris, or the board? He said it was the board. So that boy, I'm sure there must have been one man, two man or man or woman who opposed this, but everyone's got to take that bullet. So everybody's to blame then, isn't it? Everybody's a suspect until they prove their innocence. As a club, we made the decision. Your dad did. We kept asking ourselves very difficult questions. You keep trying to make out this thing was difficult. You have been battling this for months. Are you telling me you didn't have time to really scrutinize if this was a good decision? Or if you did, did you seek outside independent advice? Because again, it further goes back to the rhetoric of us not wanting to do things a different way or see different variables. He said the two main ones which I've gone over completely was a group decision. He's been briefed a lot. I don't think it's a coincidence that the same terminology, difficult questions, group decisions, these are consistently being dropped in his questions. He's been prepared for this clearly. And if he wasn't prepared, really, it further confirms his dad sold him out, really. We want everyone's opinion to see what everyone's for. I want to interact more in a more meaningful way, whether that's at boardroom level or in a fans forum. This has been an education onto itself of the power of football fans across the world and the power of Arsenal fans, which is spectacular to see, honestly. What are your feelings on fans group or a representative of fans being at board level? Big up BB, because again, he's tried to reiterate what BG has said and, answer the damn question, answer the question, people. He said, that's a very tough one. I think there's pros and there's cons. In the wake of everything that's transpired in the last few days, we're going to be asking ourselves many questions, including the one you just asked me. So while I'm not giving you a yes or no answer, it's definitely something that's up for discussion. And that's like when your mom just wants you to behave when you're younger and she's telling you, I might not behave yourself. So you're obviously going to behave yourself, clean up what you can, do some chores and things in the hope that, it's a yes and not a no. So this is all vague. We've not learned a damn thing. Think the only thing we've learned throughout this, people, is, that they're not selling the club, that they don't truly care, that they haven't truly understood where us as fans feel, people. It's just been very, media PR-y sort of thing, people. It's not helped anybody. We knew he wasn't going to get answers, and we knew this was never going to be an easy fight, folks. We was always going to hear this. Our job now is to make it uncomfortable, even when we're winning. If we do not feel this club is where we need it to do, make it uncomfortable. Make it to the point where, for me, they feel that they can't do any much better, and obviously they sell it. We're in a patch with the devil in it. He doesn't want to sell it because he doesn't care about football. He just sees this as a money thing. Like you saw, people. Arsenal have no divine right to be in the sport, to be in the Super League. Somehow we was able to be in it in theory, if not for 48 hours. Arsenal was still showing consistencies previously with ticket prices, the nice shirts that come out. This is sadly a football game. This ain't like, having an Amazon account or an eBay account where you can just switch it off and say, I don't like the way I am, boom, boom, boom. Arsenal, it stresses us all out. All of us here, people, it stresses us all out. But we're still going to be watching it. We're still going to be back there. So we ain't learned a damn thing, people, in my opinion. We haven't learned anything. But as you were in it, people, that's where we're at with that. Is there anything else? What's this? We know fans deserve a bit better, so I won't bore you with that. This kind of reiterated what we had already, that he's told supporters he's supporting that thing. In better news, Arsenal's under 18s, people. Next Friday, the reviews dropped today. I know I've been delaying that, but next Friday, we're playing Liverpool in the quarterfinals. Hopefully, we can go all the way, people. Sadly, we all know Stan Kroenke is not serious. should we quickly look at Aubameyang, folks? I don't know why this is moving so slow now. We've got a bit of freezing there. Oh, we're not moving, are we, folks? I think my browser's crashed, but nonetheless, people, Arteta's hoping Aubameyang can be back at the end of the season, can be back before the end of the season. Sorry, folks. So there's, we know he's been battling malaria and things. What are you lot saying in the chat, people? For me, we could win the treble. I think you mean. I still want him gone. Can't disagree with that. You really can't disagree with that. And he hasn't got a leg to stand on, if I'm completely honest with you, because we haven't done things in the way we need to do things. Sorry, people. I've just got some programs open. I'm trying to close them. It feels like my laptop's moving slow. Feels like we're doing a Mazzolini. But yeah, we're back. What are you lot saying? Because I know that was a bit of a mouthful and I was there for time, people. Please make sure you're getting the like button up, people. Keep running that one up, people. Lip service. He's got the politician skill level of dodging the question. Trust me, bro. He sat there for an hour. We didn't learn nothing. At best, my guy. Big up the members, them. I just hope that I hope the fans, minimum the fans, there's nothing the fans could get from that, but I just hope the fans feel a tiny bit like the weight is lifted off their shoulders and a tiny bit of pride in that at least you've kind of, all of them that answered the question, they've captured what us fans believe. And like I said, the one thing I want to see from Arsenal fans is togetherness. Let's be real. I'm not saying any of them, but there's too much division. There's fans that don't like the new age fans. There's fans that there's obviously different connotones. There's fans that think they're better than fans because, they go into games or they're season ticket holders or they're part of fan forums. Fans that think they're better than fans because they're not part of this, anything like that. In life, everybody wants division. Everybody wants to divide. Everyone thinks they're better than everyone. But this is something where us Arsenal fans, because we've been divided for obvious reasons, and that's away from healthy debate. We need to move together. We're only going to get real change if we move together. Even together, we have slim chances, people, and it's going to take a lot of energy. But to have it, we've got to be together. Or divided, as they say, we will fall, man. Oh, this is a family heirloom tea. This is going to Josh. Josh will keep riding it till the wheels fall off. So yeah, it's a family heirloom, man. Trust me, what force is inside? I feel you lot's frustration, man, and my heart bleeds for a lot of you lot because I can't do a damn thing about this, man. Right, that was some good juice, man. Listen, on Ray Parlour, on all of that sort of stuff, on Ray Parlour and Robbie, listen, I don't want to do Gossip Boy and none of them things there. My heart bleeds because Ray Parlour, I love the guy. Robbie, love the guy. Is there legitimate arguments to be had from both sides? I don't like the way Ray Parlour was condescending. I don't like the way not Sky Sports, Talk Sports, have set up Robbie because they brought him into that to talk about Kroenke, and then it's turned into that. Nobody's above criticism. AFTV for me is a fantastic platform in principle. Robbie's done great stuff, and I want to see Robbie break into the mainstream media. It's lovely because it has, whatever you say, it's given fans a voice. It's opened up a portal. Has there been sometimes people have gone on that platform and done wrong and abused it? Of course. And there's also been a lot of good. Either way, fans are allowed a platform. I would love AFTV to be in a situation, ideally one day, where together with the forum that I've just read out to you, that's another vehicle for fans to have their voices heard and drive change. Ray Parlour, AFTV, supporters groups, us here, we should all be moving together. Ian Wright, who's got nothing to do with it but to paint a picture, we're all moving together. We all might be different, we might have differences, but I'm pretty sure we all agree that the club is not being run in the right way. Football fans, we should only be debating about football, having Lacazette or Aubameyang. Why is Martinelli not playing this and that? But we're not doing that. And does Robbie have a due diligence to make sure, that, AFTV are projecting the Arsenal fans in the right way? Of course. But, let's be real. I find it very funny, TalkSport accusing Robbie of doing clickbait and all of these things. When you actually look at the article that Robbie and Ray Parlour, all you see is you don't want to miss this heated debate. They care about that. It does feel away from positive or negative criticism you can have of Robbie or AFTV, legitly, because no one's above criticism, it does come across with, I'm not saying isolated to this incident or Ray Parlour, it does feel like a lot of these attacks on Robbie and people of that ilk from the mainstream media generally, there's racial undertones within it. I'm not going to sit here and lie. Like I said, nobody's above criticism. Do you know? There's legit debate, and I did think we needed a bit better from Ray Parlour. I did think Parlour could have. I don't think some of the things he said, there's legit argument to it. You know, it's not all wrong. Let's be serious. But a lot of it was dirty. He's done Robbie dirty. He's changed the topic to be Robbie. He's tried to make out Robbie's the reason for Arsenal being poor. You know, if Arsenal were winning the Champions League and that, what could people talk about on AFTV or YouTube? Arsenal winning the Champions League, you know? Again, is there due diligence to provide medium? You know, is there a lot of people that see it as a 5 minutes of fame? Of course, but at the same time, they've done Robbie dirty. And especially if you're going to, the very things you're accusing Robbie of, you're literally doing it in general, and you're doing it while you're clipping up his sort of stuff. Shout out to Robbie for keeping his composure, because it was difficult to listen to, and saying he only cares about money, saying that, you know, only rival fans tune in. These things are not fundamentally true. You know, the fans probably tune in a lot when Arsenal lose, of course, but they equally get great numbers when they win. You know, they always focus on the people that go on that channel and waffle when Arsenal lose. What about when they waffle when people win? You know, Ty, with all due respect to Ty, I'm not trying to do him dirty. This guy can never say a bad thing about Arsenal. When Arsenal win, how many times have you seen clipped up things of people on AFTV? They say we're going to win the league, we're going to do this. And obviously, to a degree in future, it sadly in months to come, it looks silly. So again, I do think you need to be a bit of a but you need to stop being biased. And at the same time, they just don't like the fact that the man's saw an avenue and took it. And for Robbie, I think they done him dirty. You know, the absolute cheek to probably call him up, get him on there and turn him down. I hope that Robbie charges them an appearance fee. I hope that if he does, you know, he throws some more zeros on that if they're doing something like that to him. You know, we've been down this route with Gary Neville, with all of them. Fundamentally, whether you agree with Robbie or AFTV, the bigger picture is they don't like the common man or woman to have a voice. They don't like certain people to have a voice. And football should not, you know, you should have a voice regardless of your class, your race, your sex, however you speak. You know, no one's above criticism. If somebody's talking nonsense or a channel is talking nonsense, pull them up on it. If they're talking sense, they're talking sense. Either way, everybody is allowed to have their opinion, you know. And again, it's a bit ironic, you know. Shout out to Ray Parlour. I've got nothing but love at him. But again, it's you and Robbie need to allow it. AFTV this, Robbie that. The thing is getting that Kroenke, and many people would sit there and say, you're doing the same thing because you've got your TalkSport job, you know, you're getting your little, you know, what's them things called, you know, them legends tours and whatnot. You're keeping your feet in the club. The people that speak a lot about this football club, they're not employed by the football club, you know. We all know that's the sort of thing. Maybe that's why I ain't been bust two people. But it's you know, it's upsetting, it's appalling, and it's not needed. It's an unnecessary talking point, you know. It's an unnecessary talking point with something that, you know, we just need to be speaking about Kroenke. It's making out like, how can you blame Arsenal's failures? Again, has there been times on the platform where, again, players, you know, it's got a bit too far and whatnot? Of course, like I said, everyone's above criticism. No one's above criticism. But I just find it very rich coming from certain individuals, and definitely an establishment like Talkshite, which built their platform on such. You know, if it's not him, who's the other? Who's the other brother? Who's the other brother, man? Alan Basil, talking absolute tosh all the time, people. They just don't like that this, you know, YouTube or whatever is provided a platform, you know. People don't have to hear what they don't want to hear, sort of thing. And whether you rate it or not, you can air it, people. And again, I don't know that to be true, but my man, if he's saying Ray Parlour's been on AFTV, apologies twice, he's being a hypocrite then, isn't it? It's not making sense. Like, it really isn't making sense. Big up the Twitch gang. You know, that's the last on that, man, because I didn't really want to speak on it, but it has to be said because Robbie ain't done nothing wrong. You know, Robbie hasn't done nothing wrong. You know, I've got a lot of love and a lot of time for Robbie. You know, is there legitimate criticisms once again? But Robbie's only acted with integrity and those sort of things there. And especially when he's one of the people, especially when he's made something, you know, by all means, criticize Robbie for legit things, but don't draw him out for things that he's not got nothing to do with it, really and truly. You know, I do think there's a bit of racial undertones as well, man. You know, it is what it is. You need to show the way you feel. I kind of have. I don't know what you're getting at there, but fair play, my guy, man. And this is it. So AFTV wasn't negativity when they're having you on it, you know. They wasn't there when it's you, you know, only what it's not true, you know. Is there high engagement levels when Arsenal lose? Of course. Is there high engagement levels when Arsenal win? Yes. But enough on that, man. You know, You know, I'll leave Robbie to chat his thing, but that's me, man. They're bitter, bro. They're bitter because Robbie done what he needed to do, man. You know, it's what it is, man. DG Josh knew what he was doing as well. Look at his appearance, unshaven, trying to make fans feel sorry for him. Maybe his barber was just gone AWOL, man. I don't know for his appearance and that, my guy, but maybe I just feel the language, the terminology, the way he's tried to come across, that's been that, people. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. We've got 119 likes, but there's 273 of you locked in, people. I know we can do much better in that regard. No Clue has said, we did learn one thing. They plan on being here long term, so they don't believe that consistent investments is sustainable. In other words, we won't see much spending in the short term. Sad, but it must be there, man. You know, said there's plans for the summer, so let's see what's going on. Large up all the members. It was very insensitive because I have nothing but admiration for Ray Parlour, and I'm by no means picking no sides, but it's sad because you're going after the wrong things, you know. Very Liam, you're right. Liam has said Ray is out of order, bro. It was a chance to speak about more important matters. Talksport just did it for clicks, and it's worked. #1 trending now. That's why I try personally. I try not to at it, my guy. I try not to get involved in all of that sort of stuff because again, I feel like I'm feeding into it, and that's something I've had to learn. But it's been a problem. And then again, you know. Even Arsenal legends, they all have conflicting opinions on it because you say that. So, okay. All right, let's say this then. If you don't want to get at Robbie, you know, I take it personally because I've got nothing to do with AFTV. I haven't been on AFTV in months, you know, and things like that. But I take it personally because I have no affiliates or loyalty to or AFTV, you know, beyond my love for Robbie and a couple people there. But, you know, why is it, you know, why can you say that, but then Kevin Campbell's gone in it? Do you think you know, it's a reflection of the fans, really? You know, if I go on it, it's a reflection of not AFTV, but me going on it. You're telling me that I'm on that. Do I want Arsenal to lose? My YouTube channel don't bang levels like that anyway, so what am I going to get from losing? You know, I'd rather Arsenal be winning so I could sit here on YouTube and gas it, you know. It doesn't make sense, you know. There's a lot of people, you know, Graham, you know, again, a fantastic analyst of the game, you know, and a fantastic person. You can't tell me Graham wants Arsenal to lose, you know. You can't tell me Turkish or Curtis want Arsenal to lose. You can't tell me Kevin Campbell wants Arsenal to lose, who's also an Arsenal fan favourite of sorts, you know. Go and have a conversation with him. It's bang out of order, Ray, you know. Maybe Ray was paid to create it. If that's how Ray Parlour honestly feels. If that's how a guy feels, you can't take that from him. You know, many fans might have thought of that once upon a time, but it's not sustainable, really, because the numbers don't match up. Yeah. You know, when you see Arsenal fans having a meltdown, it's amazing. You know, I think Expressions is a fantastic content creator. I sure as hell love to see Spurs lose because it means him crying and whatnot, you know, but he's doing that because that's how he is. He's authentic. We all like to, no matter how bad our clubs are going, we all like to do that. If United lose, you know, I'll tweet or people will tweet United stand and chill. People will be AFTV and chill. We all like to do that. You know, we all like to look at other people's situations. But there's many people that will take other man in for stuff like that. In fact, I went to the shop the other day. I got nothing to do with it. But the shopkeeper's like, I'm a Liverpool fan, but I see your content, I like it. And I'm sure the same is said for a lot of people. So does it mean? I just think, and I'm going beyond Ray Parlour or Robbie now, they just don't like that man can have a voice now. The voice goes beyond with the, you know, being in the blocks with the guys or being in the pub or, you know, talking at work. It can go beyond that. Man can go on this and we don't have to take in what you're saying on the radio. We don't have to watch you and things like that. The only difference is we have to take in your commentary. In fact, we can turn it off. And I hope you will turn off Arsenal versus Everton on Sky Sports today because it's watch along business with myself from 7 p.m. Hope you're all there, people. You know, it's scary. They're scared of what Robbie's done. You know, Robbie's an innovator. They're scared that he can. I think he's gonna break into the mainstream. I think Robbie's gonna, you know, be the Jimmy Iovine and that. You know, they've set him up, bro. They've set him up. Maybe Robbie just has to stop going on them thing there, man. Trust. All right, Sky, to check your emails, man. You need to pattern that, man. Boy, you don't have to. Fair enough, Anthony. But with respect, with all due respect to you, Anthony, you're not black, so you really can't tell me as a black man what I'm seeing. So you don't have to believe it. But yeah, man, I'm like, You don't have to believe it. You have the luxury of not being able to believe it. You know, you're not really qualified on that opinion right there. But fair play, man. Let's talk Arsenal. Lovely name, and let's get back to Arsenal, man. Everyone, I assume everybody's good. Everybody's well and safe. I hope everybody's good, man. Oh, I think it's a good platform, bro. You know, it's a calm platform in general. You know, like for balance, there's a there's a lot of people who go up there and move mad, but there's a lot of people who use it for positive things. You know, it is what it is in that regards, man. Oh, Kevin Campbell. I even forgot he's got his own show on AFTV, not just on there. Facts, you know, facts. So what you think Kevin Campbell wants Arsenal to lose? What does he gain by Arsenal losing? You know, it's nonsense, bro. What Arsenal fan wants Arsenal to lose, really and truly? I get it. I get the logic and that it's all about money and things, but it doesn't make sense. It doesn't. It doesn't, man. It's absolutely sad, man. It's absolutely sad. I just think it's a very mundane way of viewing things. Personally, love for that, Ahmed. Love for that, my guy. DG, Josh knew what he was doing. Look at his. Oh, sorry, we've seen that already. Man, like Righty. Again, do we think Ian Wright wants to lose? You know, do we think Ian Wright wants Arsenal to lose? Come on now. You know, come on now. And Ian Wright's been on it. You know, enough said. Enough said. Enough said. Oh, certain man have it, man. You know. Average man can get his word out, bro. The average man can get his word out. And it's not even that, we're focused on Robbie and the big stuff. Man, this can have, bro, there could be someone that doesn't give a crap about getting bigger in YouTube and all of these things, but they could just have a channel where, five of his dons, they just go on and they chat with each other and things, Like I said, regardless of the age and whatnot, it's a level playing ground, man. And like you said, Carol here, bro, again, sorry, bro, not bro, but you get the point, Carol. Again, you got ex-House of Commons speakers on AFTV and things like that. Like I said, you can have your criticism about AFTV or fan channels, but you need to move away from your opinion and look at the facts. And is football not that? I just find it ironic that, let's just say AFTV was extremely positive all the time. Like we lost, if man, like forgive me, but if we was on a tighting all the time, if they were on a tighting all the time, yeah, with respect to Tyker, I love him, would they be saying all these things now? If we got battered against Bayern Munich over 2 legs and we're looking for positives where they're none, what would you say then? You would say clearly they lack integrity, they're lying, they're this, they're that, and the third. So you can't really win. You can't really win, He'll never. I mean, let's be real. I can't lie to you. I would be looking at Josh even, if Josh threw his father under the bus, of course I would love it. But I'd be looking at you. You'd be the scariest one for me, my guy. He could have said things better. But if he did that, I'll be looking at you like, right, you sold out your dad car. I can't lie. If I'm Josh, regardless, I'm not snaking my man them and my people them. Like I'm not doing none of that. So I'd look at him even if he does that, he's a bit shaky, man. Why would he? What, bro? Why would he? They're just happy. They're just unlucky. They're just unlucky that Robbie's seen the avenue, and he's made it in the thing now. He said, I'm gonna do my own thing, man. Chris has said, TalkSport have their narrative that they need to stick together. However, they are basically becoming obsolete because of guys like you and AFTV smashing it. I don't know if I'm smashing it, my guy, but I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I'm just here to chat football, man. I appreciate that, my guy, regardless. I'm still shocked at that interview after everything that has happened. He attacks the fan channels. It's an obvious change of subject and divide and conquer attempt, bro. Exactly. And to be fair, maybe Ray Parlour's being done dirty. He's designed to be that, he's being a bit controlled by TalkSport and that. I love Ray Parlour. How many times have I sat in? I said Ray Parlour was one of my favorite players. So it kills me to see this. Ray, pattern up, man. Pattern up, man. People are entitled to their opinion. Unfortunately, Ray Parlour is entitled to his own wrong opinion. And that's it as well. He's allowed that. He's allowed that. If he genuinely believes that, he's allowed to believe that. But I would say educate yourself and look at it properly, man. Hey, big up Ceballos TV. I don't know if this is legitly her because I know a lot of people are doing this weird thing now of making fake accounts and whatnot. So if that's you, big up yourself. If it's a fake thing, get a life. But mainstream media are becoming insecure about fan channels. They proper set Robbie up. Tasteless. Can't add anything onto that. Exactly. Tasteless. Set him up and If I was Robbie, again, like I said, if I'm going back on TalkSport and them things, gotta put a lot more zeros on that appearance fee because they set man up. You know, like I said, shout out to Robbie for having that class, man. Nah, man, none of that, man. Ray's my guy. I would love to meet Ray Parlour, man. That would be amazing, man. You know, it's just strange that that's the first thing on his mind this week. Maybe Ray Parlour was just the fool guy, you know. Maybe they've said, Ray, listen, this is what we need. Boom, 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 go and do it. And he's done adapting. Maybe it's been that, I don't know. If he's allowed that, because many people I know used to say that, you know. People I knew used to say that, and then they looked at it, you know. To a degree, I slightly had that opinion way before, you know, the early days of AFTV. And then I looked at it, I was like, you know what? Yeah, there's some man that are going mad and they're doing this and they're doing that, but it's not really that. And fundamentally, everyone's allowed their opinion. Is there legit cause for Robbie to have maybe damage control, limit control, find some quality on the channel and things? Yeah, and you can see that with what he's kind of doing with you know, Turkish getting a lot of limelight now. You know, Turkish, another one they fed to the wolves. You're negative, boom, 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 boom. Now look, a lot of things he's saying, and shout out Turkish, he's gone Hollywood. You can't really shout him anymore. I'm playing. I'm just saying that. A lot of what he was saying about Kroenke, man was saying he was negative. Man are saying this when we're winning FA Cups. Lo and behold, you know, you're seen as negative. He's been a stand-up dude. The great thing about YouTube is you can fool people sometimes, but you can't, innit? You know, it's all there. And you can go on Turkish's channel and you can see Kroenke this. We need to do that. We need to do this. You know, I remember once Turkish was trying to do this thing and fans were saying, shut up, and were getting onto him about trying to do a protest. Lo and behold, now, man. James has said, DG, if you met Ray Parlour, he would have the same opinion of you that he has on Robbie. You're no different. Maybe, maybe not, but same way, probably, man. You know, probably is what it is. All the strongest thing about life, you just have to believe it. You just have to have your own opinion. It's like, I love you lot. Sometimes I see some negative opinions. I'm like, whatever. Sometimes I see certain people, and I saw it the other day. One guy's always commenting for months. And then the minute I started speaking about tough topics away from football, DG, I never knew this, boom, boom, boom. How you talking about race, this and that? It's like, you never liked me from the sake of it. You never liked, man. You never truly supported me from the sake of it. That's why you have to keep it in that, because you never like man from the sake of it. You just like what man's doing. You see, the minute when man's talking about Arsenal, you know, them days there, I had the tactics board doing all of that. Man, love it. The minute I'm condemning UEFA for their racism thing, man, are like, boom, draw him out. I don't like this. That means you've never liked my content. You never liked me. You like what I'm doing. You never like me. And for me to shut that thing down, you're shut a man down, you know, because I've never protested a day in my life beyond racism. I was, you know, that's the only time I picked up my 2 feet and stuff among that. Oh, well, technically I've been involved in a Kroenke one, but that was a bit of a dead one. But you get the point, people. It is what it is, people. It is what it is in that regard. I haven't taken any shots at Ray, you know. So whatever you're talking about, gun love, shout out to you for that one. Big up Robbie for standing his ground. A lot of people would have stayed silent because of Ray's status. Yeah, and this is it. But we've spent too long speaking about it, man. We should be speaking. That's the only thing that needs to happen, you know. Imagine if, you know, I don't know if he is or not, but let's just say, you know, Robbie was doing the Stan Kroenke out propaganda. You get a call sign from Big Ray Parlour. Suddenly, on top of the Ian Wright thing, on top of what the fans did yesterday, on top of you lot doing what you can, this is what we need, because realistically, we're going to need a lot more than this to get this guy out of the club. So what we need to do is sing from the same hymn sheet. But again, people always want to think there's something better. And I've said it, Arsenal fans are weird like that. There's fans, like I said, they think they're better than the fans that talk on AFTV, or the fans that talk on TalkSport, or fans might be part of a fan forum. They think they're better than other people. Fans that are not part of a forum might think they're better than them, you know. Season ticket holders, because I mean, I almost got it cracking at Arsenal once, people, man. I see a season ticket holder try to talk smug, like, but I don't care about that, you know. Like, you know, and this is the thing, that's human nature. People always want to be better than somebody. It's mad. Like, again, we need to be, and that's the only, you know, it's come through crap ways, but I would have hoped, you know, we're all singing from the same hymn sheet, you know. Again, if we want real change, not even just Arsenal fans, we need to all be together in this thing. And if it's not gonna happen, it's not gonna happen, man. This is it, man. Man said plugged in. Yeah, Turkish is sick still. Turkish is sick still, man. And this is it, you know. With social media, they're always gonna do the verbal, bro. Like social media, you can't win, bro. That's one thing I had to learn. Social media, that's where the real bad boys are. So let them comment that, man. Just air it. True, but have something about you. Have some integrity about yourself. Can't respect Ray even more if he's allowing himself to be a guinea pig. Harsh. To be honest, I wanted the breakaway to happen, not just for money, but a wake-up call for the FA and UEFA BS. The Kroenkes did not buy Arsenal. They did not buy Arsenal to buy Arsenal stock to win trophies. Facts. Let's man up. Exactly that. Oh, this guy, fam. How he said about we'll get that one there. I appreciate that, see, man. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. To be fair, Ray's a hypocrite. We're all hypocrites in life. If you're not if you haven't found yourself, I would say, anyways, if you find yourself being not being hypocritical in life, have you really learned, man? Have you really learned? You know, that's a bit harsh. Bro, you can't draw me out about this thing, man. Like, you can't draw me out about this, man. Big up Deluded. Thanks for using your platform to call out racism, because this is what football's about, man. Football is this is why I have a problem when these politicians and whatnot tell footballers don't talk about racism, stick to football. Because if they did that, bro, kids would still, again, I'm not saying Rashford has fixed everything, but he's done hell of a lot, you know. Stick to football. There'd be kids that couldn't stick food in their mouth if it wasn't for Rashford, and it's quite upsetting, you know. I live in a country where normal everyday citizens are raising profit for trying to raise money for a health service that's meant to be tax paying. A footballer is doing more than the government and a Tory government to actually just make sure kids are fed, you know. And you can see how it's a problem. So there's not too much in life to be to actually be upbeat about it, but nonetheless, we keep going, man. We keep going. Come on, there's over 300 of you watching. There's only 100 odd likes, people. That's hella disrespectful. Please make sure you're at the watch along later, man. No, I'm not going. Someone's got to do live streams. And you said, what can fans outside of the UK do? Just keep driving the Kroenke out. Keep doing what I've seen some people do on Reddit, getting disassociated with Arsenal and things like that. That's all you can do, really. You know, Charles has said, I agree. This shite is something to unite. Good bars. All fans, let owners know clubs, they are just custodians. It's more than just numbers on a balance sheet. Facts, 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 facts. Master Yoda said, why do Arsenal fans think the Super League money was going on the team? It was going into his pocket or the Ram Stadium. I agree with that. I agree with that. Sia said, as a white person, sorry, completely butchered what you were saying, C. As a white person, I'd say white people are largely unaware they are white and what that means historically and culturally. But that's a larger discussion for another day. It's at the heart of racism. And the thing is with you, my guy, you're clearly a logical man. You can clearly mention things without feeling offended. I just feel to really speak about racism and really speak about the problems, you know, you need to not make it uncomfortable. It's not about it's not about attacking people. It's not about saving feelings. And it's like when women talk about problems around guys or what guys could do better. You can either listen to what they're saying, or what a lot of guys do is see it as they're attacking them when it's not that sort of thing. And that's why you typically see, with all due respect to John Barnes, because, you know, you got back in some good books for your opinions about the Super League, but in relation to racism, this is why it's just John Barnes and these sort of guys that are just there to speak about it. That's why they're there, because they can say it in a way where you can talk about racism, but not have to say it, white people not feel comfortable, you know. And it's not about that. Racism is horrible. So why should it be a nice conversation? It's not pretty. And that goes for any sort of group that's being marginalized against. But see, you're clearly a man of common sense. Common sense isn't that common, and we live in a world where man will say you're playing the race card, you're doing this, you're doing that. Like even this racism chat, who is it? Said, oh, what was it? Somebody commented, oh, let's not turn this into a talk about racism. Brother, for me, the primary driver around fixing UEFA away from corruption is racism. You know, see that we all know the way UEFA came out with them fines. Imagine that energy according to racism. Whether man were racist or not, they'll think twice about calling someone the N-word. And if you do call someone the N-word, your team's going to smack you up, whether they care about the fact you said it or not. These lot care about coins, so hit man where it hurts. Shout out to C though, man. You know, Big C always here, man. Very calm edition. Big up yourself, man. Like he said, massive comment. Like you said, it's for another date though, man. Any food places, boy, no clue where you should go, but hit up a yard shop, innit? It's a nice weather right now, man. Grab yourself a jerk chicken and a rice or some curry goat or something, man. Don't get there too late, you know? You make sure they have everything. But yeah, man, it's not a match day, so it ain't even going to be open. But fine one, man. Does Vinai need to go? Maybe, but he's simply just a pawn and a puppet in the scheme of things. He's just doing what he's employed to do as much as I'm onto him. Make sure you lot are checking out Sanjo's music as well, man. Hit up the link and all of those sort of things, man. Charles has said, so UEFA are looking to reform the Champions League, and that looks like a mess, to put it nicely, what you said. When will we look at what fans want? Bentley got a 50k fine for wearing a t-shirt more than clubs get for racism, bro. And that tells you everything, innit? That tells you everything. That's why we're going to get into a day and age, yeah, where footballers are just going to start smacking up people, like with Glenn Kamara, and just have to take it like that, man, you know? G has said, Ray Parlour's treatment of Robbie is a reminder of not to put too much identification into icons, and I just see that as faith. Who is your fave Arsenal player ever? Well, I'm born in the 90s, so it's always going to be Thierry Henry, without a doubt. Right, your message got deleted. That's deep. Like, why did it get deleted? Right. You ain't got that, man. You ain't got that. Trust me. Make sure you finesse yourself, though. You got to bust yourself in these shops, though. Being timid ain't going to get you what you need, my guy. But keep going, man. This is it, man. This is it, little, which is a shameful thing, man. You know, I don't know what you mean. Yes, Africa too, but yeah, it's unfortunate, man. But it is what it is, man. Vinai is not a footballing man. He's just there to do the bidding. You know, I'm not really onto him. I'm just, you know what? There's been a lot of Wenger, Glazides, Arteta, Mislintat, Edu, Arteta. If I haven't said it, what? Sanye, they're different guys. One common variable. We haven't succeeded. Second common variable, Stan Kroenke. So it's like them man there. It's just crazy, man. Tino, what are you talking about? Stop that nonsense, man. The moderator, someone must have just said, F your music, my guy. But don't rub his music out. Let him plug it, man. My guy. Isn't the first time Talk have gone after AFTV? They're jealous and worried because football YouTube is on the rise. Big up Don Robs. Facts. So yeah, let me see if the screen is going to change again, people, because we started moving a bit mad. Let's see, you know, a bit of healthy news. As you lot can see, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta confident Arsenal striker will return this season after malaria. You know, is he back in training? Let's go and see, people. You all know he's been in hospital and all of those things. I'm trying to skip to what Arteta has exactly said for you guys, people. I spoke to him many times. He was at the training ground yesterday for the first time. He's still being checked by doctors. It's taking him a while. It's a difficult disease to go through. He's had some tough moments, and we want to just give him every single tool to make him available and as fit as possible, get as quick as possible, sorry, because we need him get well sooner, Aubameyang. So again, a bit of positive news for him, people. Said the way he was looking yesterday, he was in a much better place, and hopefully once he has started to feel better with more and he regains a bit of weight that he's lost, he's going to be able to train. And at that moment, with the desire that he has to be back, I'm pretty positive that that will be the case. So yeah, man, he's lost a lot of weight. So football is the least of Aubameyang's problems at this moment in time. We're wishing our captain, you know, a better moment and whatnot, people. Away from that, though, as well, it seems like Newcastle are hell-bent on signing Joe Willock, folks. And I don't know about anyone else. I'm against it. I'm for it. I'm against it because part of me kind of wants to keep him. Part of me feels, can you really sell Joe with the many question marks we temporarily will at least have in the summer over midfield? Partey is the only guy. Ceballos and Odegaard ain't asked. Xhaka will be here. Xhaka's got 2 years left. If we, you know, what we was told, 2 years, you got to fix it up. El Nene will have a year left. Probably should be moved on. You know, draw into those conclusions what you want. Maitland-Niles might also get an opportunity. So I do think there is that. And I do think Joe can be a good squad player. At the same time, 20 million for Joe Willock is for me is up there with what we've done for ROBBIE. Sell-on clause as well. That 20 million could be re-put onto what we're trying to do in the market. Like if selling Joe for 20 means that extra 20 can help us grab Odegaard or grab, you know, Basuma or whatever, then it's a necessary evil. You know me, people, of all people. I don't want any Hayland Academy player to leave, but if we're meant to be self-financing, the likes of him and Maitland-Niles, it's got to come from somewhere, people. And for Joe, you're playing week in, week out. I know you've been on the bench a couple of times, but you're playing week in, week out. You spoke about playing for England. I think you're punching there at this moment. To have any chance, you've got to do that. This is the wrong thing I'm looking at, people. I think this Middlesbrough want Joe Willock, but this is actually the wrong article. I'm reading the second article, but there was an article that was linking Joe Willock to a move to Newcastle on a permanent basis and said, Steve Bruce basically said he's going to have a big future. Here it is. Well, it's not here it is, but let's just see what it is, people. I'm trying to save myself. 300 odd of you in here. Please make sure you're hitting that like button, people. As you lot know, 7 p.m. Arsenal versus Everton. But as you lot can see here, people, Steve Bruce says he plans to hold big discussions with Arsenal to make Joe Willock's loan move to Newcastle United into a permanent deal. This is assuming they stay in the league, people. As you lot know, he scored a dramatic goal last weekend. Again, I think it suits him more. There's less technical aspects to Newcastle's way of playing, and Joe there's a lot of Joe's in. I'll describe Joe as industry. We need him to be able to affect a game in a low block. When you need pressing and that, Joe's your guy. We just need a bit more quality, and I don't know if that's going to happen. He went on to say it was quite refreshing to hear him yesterday talk about going down the coast to see the sea. I don't think he sees it very often. I believe he's enjoying it here. And to be fair, London, in Newcastle, I'm sure a lot of it is surreal, really. And someone that's been at Arsenal since the age of 4 or 5 as well. Listen, he wants to be in the team, but he's got 3 goals for us and 2 big ones, particularly the one last week. You could see he was elated and delighted for the team. He's a young lad. I would like to keep him here. Obviously, we will have big discussions with Arsenal, but he's young, fit and athletic. He's only 21 and has a big future. So again, I don't think we need to make an immediate decision on Joe. I think all options should be left on the table, in that he could leave permanently, actually go back on loan to Newcastle or elsewhere, or come back to Arsenal next season, or go out on loan again in a sort of development path. There is a future of being sold. Him and Maitland-Niles, if they could get us 20 odd million a piece, maybe more, with a sell-on clause, Joe Willock's had the better loan spell, so I do think we'd command more money for him. But Maitland-Niles, being an England international, regardless of being a regular Arsenal or not, he's won a couple FA Cups here. He's an England international. I know I'm overselling it a bit, but we should be able to get slightly higher. So if that 45 million could mean 45 million on a real quality player, we've got to kiss goodbye to 2 Hayland boys, then it is what it is, people. I think when you look at Sam Allardyce, though, it's quite damning on what he has said, people. Sorry. I've tried a new way of doing timestamps, people, so you lot are going to have to give me a second with that one. Joe Willock / Maitland. Sorry, people. As you lot can see here, I'm using. I keep forgetting to get rid of these pop-ups, people. But scrolling all the way to the bottom, apparently Sam Allardyce persuaded Ainsley Maitland-Niles to join struggling West Brom ahead of Leicester. What's all of this, people? Huge great white shark heading for UK after becoming only 2nd to cross the Atlantic. Mad thing, but sorry, people. Away from that. As you lot know, basically Sam Allardyce has suggested, he could play more at West Brom than these clubs, which for obvious, they've got less resources, less of a quality side. You could play more. And he's got that, he's played, he's made more starts, or he's approaching more starts for them, I believe, than he made at the club. He's playing in his favourite role, which I want Maitland-Niles to have a future at Arsenal. I think with him gone, I've lost the emotional aspect for him and Joe Willock. So it is what it is, people. He's been linked with Leicester, Crystal Palace, Southampton, Wolves, all in the last week as well, people. He has 5 England caps. 5. Ainsley Maitland-Niles got 5 caps. Madman. I thought you had like 2. Man, like I said, just over 20 million, people. Don't think you're going to the Euros. Definitely not in midfield. But apparently Arsenal were also reluctant to loan Maitland-Niles to a high-flying rival. As we know, it has been a success because he's playing. He is yet to score, though, isn't he not? And that's it. I'd say for next with Maitland, I think his passing is inconsistent. He had a very great game against Southampton. West Brom's last game against Leicester backed his difference, because I really, he's been consistently average at best. Not really, not lacking, not really showing enough, really. I just think 6s out of 10. He's had 6s his second from last game. I'd say it was a 9, maybe a 10. His last game now, like everyone for West Brom, was a 4. This puts him at the forefront because he's playing first team football. I like his versatility, but and that could help us. But if he needs to go, he needs to go. He said, I spoke to Ainsley on the fact Where do you want to play and what is your position, favorite position? The reason Ainsley chose West Brom is because I play in midfield. I want to play in midfield. I don't want to play fullback. It was a little bit surprising to me because he has played for Arsenal there a lot and England. Fair play. I said, if that's your favorite position, then I can't 100% guarantee that's where you're going to play, but certainly that is where you will start. Then, of course, like everybody else, performances will determine whether you stay in that position or not. He was focused on once I said you could play in that position, he chose us. Why didn't he choose Leicester? Perhaps it wasn't that. I'm just glad he's here. His performances have grown over the last few weeks. I believe he's enjoying his football and being a regular first team member, even in these difficult times we face. Facts, just the fact of being able to train and know you have a legit chance of playing is good for your psychological, especially during lockdown and what's been during lockdown. He has helped over the last 9 games to improve our performances. He hasn't been lacking, like I said. You just want to see him stand out a bit more, really and truly. He said, let's hope that will continue, and that means he will still have to play to the level, particularly that he showed against Southampton. Could we do with a goal or two from him? Of course, we could do with sharing out the goals a little bit more, but he must keep getting the chances and opportunities by playing as well as he is playing through the midfield, which midfield area, which will create more opportunities for him and others. He did say a bit more. He said a lot more than this, people. He said a couple. Where's the article? It said a bit more. Maybe again, there was something along the lines of, he might be playing his way into a move in the summer. I need to find that, man. There's no way I can't find that. Where is that? Where did I see it, man? I feel like I'm letting you lot down still. That's getting found though. Don't worry, folks. Don't worry, folks. Where did I see it? Where did I see it? Ainsley Maitland. Now, sorry, people. That's a mad way of doing that. There he is. Big up the Daily Cannon for their article. Well, I think he's actually. Oh. Sorry for the technicalities, people. Scroll all the way up. Where's the actual article? So let's go to the actual article rather than that. Or is this the same thing I just read? I'm not even going to bother with this, people. But yeah, man, he basically, Sam Allardyce went on to make other comments along the lines of, I think Arsenal just haven't fancied him in that role, which again, more or less the language that we've been saying as fans. So if Sam Allardyce, not that he owes Arsenal anything, has the confidence to say that, what are they saying privately? How is Ainsley Maitland-Niles feeling privately? So it is what it is in that regards, people. I'd sell them both. I'd take Ainsley Maitland-Niles back and sell Willock. Ainsley Maitland-Niles is my guy, but he's low-key dusted at our club now. Sell them both and bring in Lamptey and Buendia. Love Joe Willock, but he's at the right level at Newcastle. He's getting into their team and making a difference. Selling him is the best outcome for all parties. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. I know our midfield is dead, but I never felt Willock was good enough for us. He's battling at Newcastle, but I think that's around his level. 20 million is great. If he goes, I wish him luck. He should do well, I think you mean. Big up K Swift. You said, do you think he could have done a job in our midfield considering Partey's injuries if he stayed? If you're talking about Maitland-Niles or Joe, I don't know what they could have done if they were given an opportunity. I would have given Maitland-Niles more because he never got that. But at the same time, I can see why you're not really playing in midfield at a top club. Same with Joe Willock. So you never know what they could do. We've been down to our bare bones. I think both of them could have done their thing, but not enough to convincingly say yes. But we could have done a lot worse. At least Ainsley Maitland-Niles is a bit braver than some. Hey, you can't call me a prat when your name's that, bro. Like, your name's sounded like I punched my keyboard. Like, but love for that anyways, man. So do I, man. As said, as it is, Joe Willock ain't at the level we need. Youngers need to hit that level of Smith Rowe or Saka. If not, they need to be sold for the best price. Simple as that. Been a tough work day so far. Very grateful for that stream, DG. I appreciate you, and I appreciate all of you lot in here. It'd be pointless if you weren't here. Where are we at in terms of likes, people? 212 likes, not bad, but we could easily get 300. We do need that. All right, big up yourself, T. Hope you're doing well and safe as well, man. And Steve, this is a great part. It is generational, you know. They're of the radio era and things like that. Generational too. Talksport audience is generally middle-aged men like Ray who don't understand new forms of media. Facts and more facts. I appreciate that, Somali speakers. Love for that. Flores looks very good he played very well against Chelsea, scored a fantastic goal and looked very good in the FA Youth Cup. And he's had a good season, but he's got shagged with a couple of injuries. But you know, cream always rises to the top. You know, him, Patino, you know, there's a bunch of talented players that I'm always speaking about. You're right, Everton will be a tough game. Every time I tune in, I unintentionally hit the like button. Unintentionally? What do you mean, my guy? What do you mean unintentionally? But anyways, people, I'm not going to cap. We've been here for an hour and 20 minutes. I'm going to be back later. It's time to get some lunch. I've appreciated talking about, well, not exactly happy to talk about Ray Parlour versus Robbie. Not happy to talk about, you know, Josh Kroenke lying to the fans, really, you know. All right, speaking about Joe Willock and Ainsley Maitland-Niles, best piece of information obviously was hearing Aubameyang's on the mend, but until we get to the Everton game, people, as I said, links in the pinned message. Please make sure you hit up that. I'm going to keep it moving, people. I'm out.